Hey guys, it's Alona Mikovsky, and we are in St. Louis, Missouri here where the Netroots Nation conference has been going on. So right now, we are on the on-ramp or off-ramp, I'm not sure, to a highway, but a lot of activists, Black Lives Matter organizers here have just shut down this highway to try to make their point and bring attention, of course, to the loss of black lives at the hands of police and what they see as general inequality. And so right now, it looks like the majority of them have stopped blocking the highway, although some people are still there linking arms. And so we're going to kind of try to follow this group and see where they're going next and follow them along. And, you know, just to point out, too, obviously Netroots Nation is a gathering of a lot of activists, but this is not something that was planned by the organization or by the actual conference. This is all just local activists getting together and choosing, maybe not spontaneously, but in a way that wasn't really planned, wasn't really advertised, to stage this action right now. And if you look that way, like, the police have been, I guess you could say, helping for this to go through safely. They've blocked off parts of the highway, and they've also blocked down parts of the road below, too. So it looks like the cars are slowly starting to roll, but there are people still kind of walking backwards just right in front of them. And then here comes the big group here.
We're not going to do no interviews until we've exited the bridge, so...
How come?
Because that's what I said. So we're going to do interviews when we exit the bridge.
All right, well, we're live streaming right now,
Thank
so we're
you
live
so much.
streaming this
We
whole thing as it
appreciate
goes
you.
on.
See us at the end. Thank you.
All right, well, we're trying to grab some people anyway, obviously, but looks like the group is now heading down to the bottom of the on-ramp.
This is not for you. This is for us. Nobody stopped for anything. Stay tight. Get tight. Stay tight. Get tight.
So I don't know if you can hear what she's been saying into the megaphone there, but she said nobody stopped for anything, stay tight, and that sign in the front says racism lives here. And then if you kind of just look over there, Mike, too, you can see the cars are slowly starting to go. And interesting moment that happened actually right before we started live streaming is there were some people on the side of the on-ramp screaming Black Lives Matter, and you saw people yelling out of their cars, we agree, but let us get to work or let us go home. So maybe a little frustration on the part of the drivers who had their commute here paused. So here comes the group now.
Oh, I've been on your show. Yeah.
So we're just going to keep going with the group here because, like they say, they don't want to talk to anybody, do any interviews until they get to the bottom of the on-ramp. We probably have another 200 feet to go or so, but kind of just stick with us here. You know, we're here to just show how this is happening and proceeding in real time. And you have some police that are also on the bridge, actually, if you want to turn around, Mike, right behind you. So it seems like the police are trying to film this event as it's going on too. Maybe we can speak with one of them. Yeah. Hey, how are you? We're with the Huffington Post. Can you just tell us anything about what your plan is to?
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not
That's
allowed
okay.
to make any comments.
Okay, we figured that was the case. Just wanted to know if there's any kind of plan, that was put in place or that.
Whatever the plan is, I'm not allowed to say anything about.
Okay.
But
Got it. Thank you.
no problem. Sorry for that.
So we're getting close to the bottom of the on-ramp here, but there are some people waiting at the bottom too, other people who have been kind of waiting on the side of the freeway.
Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what unity looks like. This is what unity looks like. Show me what unity looks like. This is what unity
Bunch of stuff.
Show me what unity looks like. This is what unity looks like. Show me what unity looks like. This is what unity looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Oh, 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 oh. Get tight. Get tight. Get tight. Get tight. Get tight. Stay tight. Get tight. Stay tight. Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Ferguson to Palestine, Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. 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 Ferguson to Palestine, Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. We want justice. We want justice. We want justice. We want justice. We want justice.
So maybe we can kind of head over to the side here.
Justice. We want justice.
group right here. I'd say maybe 100, 150 people here that are just walking down this ramp from the highway. And all around here, the police have closed off the streets to make it so that the march actually can take place. So we're going to keep following them. But thanks for watching, guys, and we see your questions and your comments. My guess is they might be walking to the old courthouse in St. Louis now, which was originally where they said that an action would take place today. It's just a couple of blocks away. So we'll keep following it there. Yeah. Hi, nice to see you.
Wow, I'm not getting ready at all. We're gonna.
That's okay. That's okay.
What are you trying to ask?
So we're live streaming right now. This is Autumn. She actually was part of our live stream yesterday that we did. But yeah, why don't we just keep kind of walk with me? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy you all came over there.
Yeah, of course. So Autumn Marie, and remind me one more time where you're from?
Black Lives Matter, New York City.
New York City, that's right. So tell us a little bit about this action, because I was saying before, like, this isn't something that Netroots, the conference, officially plans, right? This is something
We
that...
decided that, when we came over to see the action that was being organized by St. Louis Action Council, by Hands Up United, by several other organizations that are here on the ground and do work here every day around Black people that they're facing. And when we saw only a few people from Netroots there, that it's not fair that people come in from Netroots and they give money to the city that goes to the police. And so St. Louis is profiting off of it, but the community, if there's no people power coming to the issues that are happening here, to the community organizing that's happening here, you cannot ever say that you're really being progressive. And it's just downright wrong to come into the city and to give resources to the city and to say that you're here for progressive, to say that you're here for the rights of the people, but not to actually stand with the people, especially when we're a couple of weeks away from Mike Brown and when we look at all the events of last week.
So this is something that the St. Louis organizers themselves wanted to happen.
St. Louis organizers were organizing an action, and some of us brought Netroots people over.
And what is the significance of shutting down the highway, right?
So there was a particular reason. I'll let you speak to organizers more so they can say specifically. But it's also right by the stadium, so you have to look at what the stadium means to the city, from the money it brings in, also to the people that go to the stadium, and how that doesn't trickle down to the Black community here either.
And I mean, overall, how do you feel that the convention has done in bringing in, the local needs and the local feelings here that are happening here in St. Louis, because that's why they chose the location, right? Because of Michael Brown, because of Ferguson, and the proximity here to this community.
There was the opening panel was great with local activists that were on it, able to tell their story, but also, we have to also get into the community and let the issues of the community be known, and not just do a panel, but also bring people into the community so that they can see what the fight is, what the fight looks like, why St. Louis, why what happened in St. Louis was possible. And and why people need to continue to stand up in St. Louis for coming into their town.
All right, Autumn, thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you.
to us. We're going to get back in the front. Thank you. So maybe we can kind of try to run back up to the front too and see how the procession is continuing to move. Hey, woo. We're live streaming right now.
Nice.
This is Kai Newkirk from 99 Rise.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
That's right.
Kai, so you're not from St. Louis. We were just speaking to Autumn, who's a Black Lives Matter organizer. Actually, this is for you, from New York City. And, why is it important to have this action take place outside of just the Netroots Nation conference?
This is a fundamental struggle in our country. Black lives are now and have always been from the founding of this nation under attack. And this movement is saying that they just can't continue anymore. It's fundamental to the progressive struggle in our country. We can't have justice until we have justice for all people, until those who are hurting the most are not hurting anymore. And so everyone at Netroots Nation, many people come out in solidarity. We went up and took the freeway because we know that we all have to do a part of this. We're all complicit in the status quo. If we just go about our lives, especially as white people, but as people of any race, of any walk of life in our country, if we just go about our lives as we normally do, when there's an epidemic of institutional racism, especially at the level of police violence that's killing people, regularly being exposed on video. If we don't do anything, then we're a part of that pain for so many people. We have to be a part of the solution, we have to be part of healing, we have to be part of justice. That's why we're athletes.
One thing that I was mentioning earlier too is that when the highway was shut down, there were people yelling out of their windows saying, I agree the Black Lives Matter, but they were also saying, but let me go home or let me go to work. Which I think is always kind of the divide or the debate that people have, right, about civil disobedience, about actions like this. What do you say?
Old as time. That's as old as time. You have to disrupt business as usual to create a conversation and to show that it's not going to be able to carry on the status quo. It's not going to be able to function until there's change. So that reminds everybody that they're implicated in it. They have a role. If they want freeways not to be being shut down in our country, which we all do, we all want to be able to get where we want to go when we're driving, then we need to be a part of a movement that's going to make change so that there's not this regular routine police violence that takes the lives of black people in our country. And so, they said that in the civil rights movement. A lot of people who even came around to see segregation and Jim Crow as wrong, they didn't like what the movement was doing. They didn't like the cities, they didn't like the marches, they didn't like the freedom rides. They didn't even like the movement sometimes, but they were moved to see the righteousness of the issue and to know that they had to be part of doing something to change it. So that's what we're doing now. We're carrying on in that tradition. As John Lewis says, causing good trouble.
I'm reading comments here, and we have a lot of people watching right now. Yeah, we're on Facebook Live. And so, someone's saying, I'm still wondering, what will marching bring?
Millie, who in our country is not aware of this issue right now? Black Lives Matter. How many people? Such a tiny percentage.
You have to be living under a rock to not know.
Why is that? Because of what this movement is doing. So if that is not changing things, it is. There are cities all across. The president just had a meeting at the White House again on this issue. Did an executive order. There's all kinds of cities and towns and states that are debating changes to the laws to deal with this problem. That's all being driven by the fact that there's a movement that is not accepting the status quo anymore. That's out there marching, taking the streets, taking freeways, organizing across the country. You don't get change without a struggle. You don't get that. And the young black folks, especially black women, queer folks that are leading this march, taking over the freeways today, tremendous, powerful leadership. Our country should be grateful to them. We should follow their lead and support this movement so we can win as soon as possible.
All right, Kai, thanks so much for catching up with us.
Appreciate it.
We're going to keep walking here, and I think Kai made a really good point, too, in that we do see a lot of women of color who really are in the front line of this action and of this protest that's happening right now. It's something that we've talked about a lot. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. It's, whether or not there is that proper acknowledgement that exists there. Is our shot okay? All right, sorry, guys. It's a lot of people here, a lot of moving parts, trying to keep it all together. So I believe that we're still marching to the old courthouse. And keep your questions and all your comments coming. And we have to say, too, that right now we're in downtown St. Louis, so it's, a little bit of a business district, a lot of hotels around, too, but it's not an area where there's a ton of people walking around all the time, but we do see in some places, I saw some people in hotels or some people in a parking lot right here that are all observing from the side and trying to see what they see is happening. So Liz, our producer, is kind of waving us over that way, that we should be closer to the front. So we're going to try to catch up.
looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
So, you know, one thing I've seen people saying in the comments too on Facebook, and I'm glad that you guys are writing in and engaging right now, is that they're glad to see white people around here too. You know, and I do think that's an incredibly important point to make in terms of showing how many people are united in this cause and just pushing for some kind of equality. And you see people of all ages too. It's not just young people, but primarily young people that are certainly engaged. Mike, if you can try to get closer to the front, if you can move around and try to get closer to the front, that'd be great. Live streaming right now, yeah. I'm just not talking in front of the camera. Is she still here?
But
Where did she still here?
right on the corner on the other side of the highlight sign. She's like there, like just bobbing her head along, kind of like dancing, smiling.
So if you guys can hear me, I'm so far away from the cameraman, but still mic'd. Senator Tammy Baldwin is here. She was standing on the sidelines here in downtown St. Louis, too, observing the protest, although she hasn't joined in the march, at least not to my knowledge. right. So what they keep saying too is keep tight, keep tight. They keep trying to get everybody to be kind of tightly gathered together. Tighten up, they're saying. But I got to say, we've already walked, you know, maybe close to a mile, 3/4 of a mile or so. The streets are still blocked off. There's police kind of patrolling the area around here, but they're definitely, you know, not interfering here and allowing for this action to take part. Hey, can we speak with you while we march here? No? Come on, we're live streaming right now. We can talk to someone else if you want.
One of these folks.
Okay. Hey guys, we're with the Huffington Post. What's your name?
My name is Rick, but we're not doing any convention center. Meet us
All
at
the
the
convention center.
Convention center.
All right. You guys keep telling me a different spot.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
Yeah, so we're still walking through downtown St. Louis here. I want us to just maybe not be in the very front anymore because we keep trying to get people to talk to us, but those who are kind of leading this action, nobody wants to talk until they get to the convention center. That's where this action is going to end. So we're kind of just rolling with it, but just want to be able to show you a little bit of what's going on. And maybe we can speak to some people who are taking part here who aren't in the front. Guys, can I talk to you for a minute? We're with the Huffington Post. You don't want to do interviews? All right, so nobody wants to do interviews until they get to the convention center. Seems to be one thing that is a common thread here, and I guess that's, you know, probably some instructions that they gave them because they want everybody to stay in one solid block until they all get to the convention center. So we're like 2 blocks away probably from the convention center right now. So that is supposed to be where this action is going to conclude, and I'm not sure what's going to happen once we get to the convention center. But that's where the Netroots Nation conference is taking place, and really the way that they even got people to join who are participating in the conference, because this was put on by local St. Louis organizers, is watch out behind you, Mike. Is they basically went into every conference room where certain panels were being held, and they disrupted the conferences that were going on and told people to stand up and walk out and join in this action. So now we're taking it all the way back to the convention center. I know. This close to wearing my Birkenstocks today.
You guys find out about this?
We're covering the conference.
What? I'm sorry.
We're covering the conference.
Oh, okay.
So
Is that the thing at the courthouse?
It all started at the conference, and I know
The conference at the courthouse or the?
no, Netroots, and then the Hands Up Coalition was putting something together at the conference, but they stopped by Netroots, pulled everybody out of the conference rooms into the streets.
Gotcha.
Here we are.
Can't stop the revolution. Never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
More?
Please.
All right, so it looks like they're starting to kind of veer course now. We're on Washington and 8th Street, right in front of the convention center right here in downtown St. Louis. And it looks like they're going inside the building where the conference is taking place. So we're going to keep following them there. And I have to say, the size of this crowd keeps growing as this has gone on. Because at first there was a little confusion. We saw a lot of people on the streets looking for the action and the protest, but it keeps growing. I'd say at least 200 people now, if not more, maybe 300. Thank you. All right, so we're inside the convention center now, and it looks like maybe some kind of an announcement or something is going to happen here in the center. I'm going to try to move over there so I can get my mic in the mix so you guys can hear what they're saying.
Y'all look good. Yeah. All right, so there are a few things apparently that have happened at Netroots that need to be addressed.
Facts.
So I'm going to allow Elle and Autumn to grab the persons that need to address those things so that they can come up here and address those things. And while we're doing that, so we're here at Netroots, which is progressives and liberals and all of the things that we love, right? Except for y'all that are here, I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but tell all of your Netroots friends that come here and come to Phoenix and go to wherever they go and do not go out and touch, talk to, speak with, hug, hold, love, rub on the community of which you have infiltrated. You are becoming occupiers. You are becoming the very thing that we are fighting against. So when you come here and pay all of your money that organizers in the hood can't afford to pay to come here for your convention, and you never leave America Center, which is also a celebration of slavery, that's problematic. If you claim to stand for me the way you say that you stand for me, that's problematic. So all of you that marched with us, we appreciate you greatly. So talk to your Netroots friends, right? Because we're in this space and we progressive and liberal and whatever other words you want to use, that don't mean we can't learn nothing, right? So everything is a learning opportunity, and we should take this as such. Also, I want y'all to think about the real differences between our presidential candidates. Like a real earnest. You ain't even got to do it with nobody.
Can y'all give us room? So they can see her?
So, if you have
Spread out, please. Give us some space.
a real serious look at the differences between the candidates that are running for president of the United States of America. Y'all need to take a real good look at the difference in politics. And if there are, wait, I heard somebody said none, touch your neighbor. Who said none? I'm saying, y'all, for real, take a serious look. I have been a feminist since before I knew that was a real thing, since before I knew that was a word. Okay, so you can't come to me and say, because I am not a fan of the female that is running for president, you can't call me anti-feminist. Because Okay. I've been walking around with these ovaries for a long time. We tied in tight, me and these ovaries. You can't call me anti-feminist. You can call me a realist. You need to be honest about what is happening in this country. You need to ask questions. You need to think about why every time somebody that looks like me is gunned down in this country and y'all start making noise, why there's a mass shooting that follows immediately.
Come on now.
You need to start asking yourself some really hard questions. Okay, and like I said, you can do it in your confession booth, you can do it at home, have a little come to Jesus, but you need to really think about how much better one is than the other. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be a lot of anti-blackness being challenged within ourselves. It's going to be a lot of comfort, a lot of imperialistic, colonialistic, a lot of shit that is innate in us because we are born in this capitalist system. You're going to have to challenge that.
That's right.
And you're going to have to challenge that with you before you can tell anybody else to challenge that. So everybody with your little badges, y'all go home and have some real hard, serious conversations with yourselves and your family and your friends, and it's not gonna be easy. I'm here to tell you right now, it ain't gonna be easy. That's right. But what the hell worth fighting for has ever been easy. That's right. I'm gonna pass the mic so that you got something to say? Also, happy birthday, Mother Asada. Happy birthday to 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 Mother Asada. Oh, also, today he was 30. Today, Philando, who was stolen from us, Philando, who had his greatness stolen, Philando, who memorized the names and meals of 500 children at his school. Wow. And even if he hadn't done all of that, he still did not deserve to be gunned down. Today is his birthday, so make some noise for Philando.
What's up? So, I just want to say there's a lot of misconceptions about what we as a people want from this country. I think I can speak for most black people and say we don't want shit from y'all. We want what God already gave us. So, the reality of the situation for us is we've been living in Donald Trump's America. I grew up with all my uncles being mass incarcerated by the same people that we got the option to vote for right now. My mother lost her house in the housing crisis when the same people that was in office running for office right now. There ain't no illusion about this shit for black people and other minorities in this country. There's no illusion about it. We can't vote this up off us. We need a real, actual, full-time political revolution. And I can't tell you what it looks like. I can't define that for you. You got to define that for yourself. And that's what this is about. It's a personal journey on what you're going to do to stand up. When you know that you got some shit in you that you need to challenge. When you know, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100. When we as men got to challenge shit that we know we need to purge from us, we got to stand up and purge that shit. You know what I'm saying? We were going to have real hardcore conversations. Let's have them, y'all. But this is about action. This is about moving forward. It's not about a bunch of theory, throwing that shit into the fucking cloud and watching it drop down and going home on a plane with clicking your toes, typing on your laptop. Because as you fly over these communities, people down here dying. And we don't have no misconceptions about state-sanctioned violence. We say violence from the community, violence from the police. It's all a part of black genocide. Either or. It all comes from the same people. The guns, the dope, the murder, them they guns, this they dope, they dropped off in our community. You ever heard of Ronald Reagan?
Oh, Lord.
You scared to death of Donald Trump, but we survived Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
That's what we do. We survive.
Yes.
And we're going to keep surviving. And we try to teach the rest of y'all to do the same thing because it's going to get a lot worse before it get a lot better because we standing up. This ain't going to stop. This is not going to stop. They can lock us up. They can gun us down. They can vilify. They can do whatever. But after you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
So I'm really done because I'm just regurgitating the same shit that I'm going to say on Twitter tonight. But yo, I love y'all. We appreciate y'all. This is St. Louis. A lot of people hashtag us as hashtag Ferguson. No, we are St. Louisans. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. We are St. Louisans. We are from the city of St. Louis. We standing up for the city of St. Louis, a predominantly black city that gets shitted on since the days of the Bell Prophet. Since the days of the Bell Prophet. We got a black police union. We got a white police union. If it's all the same gang, why is it separated by race? And then they say we pulling the race card. So, I'm done. I'm ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rita. I just want to thank everyone from Netroots for coming out and supporting us.
From your space, please return. Don't worry about this political fucking theater. Black and brown queer people were pulled from their rooms up here where they found each other for healing. And you all went in the room and you took them away. And I say, fuck that shit.
We got some people down.
Calm down.
Okay. But no, I wanted to talk about why shutting down the highway. Why in the streets? When national organizations like Netroots, ECO, anything come down here and they leave, I want to tell people that this was from the freedom fighters in Ferguson, the Ferguson uprising from Michael Brown Jr., who laid in the street for 4.5 hours. Black, brown, oppressed, poor people was out in the streets August 9th, and that's why this woke this world up. So when you go home and you think, oh, I shut down the highway with some St. Louis people, that's dope. Go in your communities to look to people that look like me, that look like her, that look like him, that look like her, and go talk to them and see how you can help them. I want to thank some of the people who are, and I know people in netrooms are kind of pissed off right now, but I talked on the keynote speech on Thursday. I was one of the panelists about what can progressives do. And if I could tell you that, like I'm going to tell them, like I said on the panel, I can't tell you what to do at this point. If you don't know what to do, I'm still getting killed. I'm trying to survive. My brothers and sisters are still in the street trying to live. So there's nothing what we can tell you to do. Go home and do it. That's all I want to say. Thank you. And I wanted to just introduce CC. She's a part of the network, and I'm just going to let her say it for this.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Now, the question is, are y'all including trans, queer, and Gen Z voices?
All right now, yes.
Are y'all really making a way that our voices are being censored in these movements?
Yes.
I am here to hold Netroots accountable for some bullshit that happened last night. We were invited into a space where trans, queer, and Gen Z folk were not allowed.
What? Whoa. What?
My friend, who is a trans, queer, black man, decided to go into a bathroom and was chased by a white security officer.
Oh my God.
So I am here to let Netroots know that there are people here that are outside the binary. We are not all the same.
That's right.
You need to understand that. So I am here to hold all of you accountable. If you are not leaving this space and you are saying Black Lives Matter and you're including trans, queer, and Gen Z folk in that movement, then you are not doing your job. And that is fucking important. We are here. We show up for your movement. When black men get killed, we are there for your movement. When black women are killed, we are there for your movement.
That's right.
How many people are calling on the name of Maya Hall? It is important for everybody in this space, for everybody in this room to know that we are here, that we exist, that we are a part of this movement, that I am a black life, and my life matters too.
Come on, say that. Say that. That's right. Yes,
Please understand that the legacies of oppression and slavery have not just been exempt to this law. Trans people were picking cotton. Trans people were cracked by the whip.
Come on now.
Trans people were subjected to rape. Trans people were subjected to violence. This year alone, 23 trans people of color have been murdered. Mind you that. How many of us are marching in the streets for them? How many of us are calling on the lives of those who have been lost to senseless violence? Right. Can I get some quiet? Who is talking over you? That's rude. That's rude. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
You will not disvalue my voice. I am here.
That's right.
So if you really care about black lives, make sure that you're centering and valuing the lives of those who aren't cis, who aren't part of the binary, who aren't the norm. It is important that we are uplifting and valuing all the lives, all black lives. 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 So, if you leave this space, if you are leaving this space, not centering and valuing march, this rally, this Netroots, everything is bullshit. And that is my word. Thank you.
Preach.
Thank you.
Nice chat means you don't misgender people. Let's not misgender. Let's not forget anybody. Bisexual.
Come on, Faye.
All right. How y'all feeling? Yes. You feeling revolutionary? My name is Miss Justice Jester. And I want you to know that what we have just done is a tactic, but not a strategy. Think about that. This is a tactic. We're going to break all the binaries. Because red and blue don't make green. And the show don't care about black or brown. What I'm saying is if you are out there and you're not registered to vote, you're wasting your time. If you're registered to vote and you're not signing up other people to register to vote, you're wasting your time. If all you care about is choosing between the sequel and the shit show, then you are wasting your time. What about the little elections in your community? What about who's running for the school board? Who's... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I kind of grabbed the mic. And I want you to know that what I do is amplify. And with that, what I want to say is I support the people of St. Louis taking over the streets, and that we should all do that ourselves in our own communities. All right?
Okay, hi everybody. Whoever doesn't know me, my name's Cheyenne, still out here from August 9th, 2014. I just want to say personally, it don't have nothing to do with everybody else, but as far as like hands up and everybody, I think that everybody needs to come together. As far as the people in St. Louis, you know, it's all one movement, one people, one unity. I think that this is beautiful, that it was a successful action. I'm not sure if they planned the highway shutdown, but it was successful. We always say, you know, the people united can never be defeated, and as we've seen on the highway, it happened. So I don't want to waste everybody's time, you know. Okay. I'm really trying to figure out what we're doing next.
You are Black Girl Magic.
Yes. You were holding down in the streets. Why you quiet down?
So on the side of birthday, it's necessary to do our chant.
Yes.
Let's go. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
And support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
Center, but the last hour we've been following an action really organized by local St. Louis organizers and activists. They first shut down a freeway and then marched over a mile past the old courthouse back here to the convention center, and just really said a lot here in this space in the convention center about how they feel that, you know, the people who come here to this conference are not doing enough because they're not leaving the conference center. They're pumping money into the local economy here, but they feel like they need to be doing a lot more. So we're going to try to talk to some of these people because they weren't giving interviews before during the action.
Mic check! 5:30! Room 240! We have a close that conversation! No media there, please.
What's the word?
All right, so I think we're going to try to move into another space here so that we can try to do a few interviews. But we heard from a lot of people here about the need for inclusivity as well in terms of anybody from the LGBTQA community, black women too, and
Media, so we're going to go to the stage so I can take you there. And there's a stage where media can go.
We're walking with
Ted, media, I'm talking about to the stage. So can y'all go to the stage? Okay.
All right, everyone's trying to get situated here, but we're going to walk over to this stage and hopefully get to speak to some of these people here. And I got to say that not everyone was happy. There was someone, I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear, who from the second floor started yelling. She's not there now, but told them, anybody who was pulled out of their session that's taking place here, to go back, and really was unhappy with the way that this action happened. Said that, you know, queer people were in a conference, in a room, in a session where they had a safe space, and that they were torn out of that. So some division, really, in the tactics that we see out here. So why don't we keep moving? Can we just chat with you right here for a few minutes?
Just follow up.
And I'll do it itself.
Yep.
Right,
I'll take you to the stage.
No problem. Yeah. So we're live streaming on Facebook Live. We're with the Huffington Post. Been with you guys since the freeway. Could you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi everyone, my name is Elle Hearns, and these are the folks that you're going to be speaking with today. So we're going to go to a more secluded area so that you can conduct a more formal interview to hear about the importance of the work that was done today by the local St. Louis community.
Are you from St. Louis?
I'm not from St. Louis, which is why I want you to speak to the folks who
Okay,
are here,
understood.
whose space this is, who live here and have to go through what happens after all of these people leave Netroots. So if you could just all momentarily just bear with us.
Yeah, we're waiting. Well, we're live streaming, so we'll keep it going, and we'll see who else we can get to speak with us too. But again, that is something that's been very important, is that they want people who are from St. Louis to be represented and to be able to speak, you know, with their own voice and talk about the needs that they have in this community, rather than be represented by other people who are just here attending the conference from other parts of the United States. So there's still something going on too, by the way, we got to say. We're kind of walking in the other direction to talk to some of these activists, but if we walk here in the center for a minute. It's still going a little bit, and you know, I can just say that some of the other organizers here are wondering, who is that? What are they doing? So again, there's always a little bit of division when these types of actions do take place. So let's go back and speak with some of the women here. Yeah, we're coming. We're coming. So we're going back into kind of the main hall here in the convention center, where there's a lot of booths set up, but also a studio space. Thank you. Hi. So we've been in here the last couple of days, and now this is kind of the end of the conference. All the booths have been torn down, but hopefully we can get talking to these people. Can we talk here, guys? Cool, because we're still live streaming, and so we know people have been waiting to hear from you all. So if you maybe could, I don't need this mic because I've got one on me, so you guys can pass around the stick mic, and if you want to introduce yourself to our viewers, and really, talk about why it is that you did this and had so much to say to the Netroots crowd.
Hey, peace. I'm Tara. Well, we did the march because we are getting gunned down in the street. Like, that's not any, at this point, that's not a myth. We don't need to go check facts and re-reports. Like, that's what it is. So this march, it is Assata Shakur's birthday. It is Philando Castile's birthday. There are a lot of people in town. Downtown is being turned into a hub for tourism when the vast majority of the buildings downtown are basically celebrations of slavery. We started our march today at the old courthouse where there's a statue of Dred Scott and his wife Harriet. That statue is being paid for by Dred Scott's family. So the state of Missouri, the city of St. Louis would have you to believe that that statue is there because that is history that they are proud of or even accepting of, when that is simply not the case. There are still slave chains that are in the upstairs of the old courthouse. So for people to come through there and to treat it like a tourist attraction when our ancestors were sold there is very problematic. And we have so much to say to Netroots because people come and they hold these conventions and they do these conventions like this and they never step outside of their convention center. They never touch or speak to or see or feel the actual community that they claim to be in solidarity with. They never walk outside the walls because, oh shit, it's too dangerous out there. Yeah, it is, and that's why we're out here. So if you come to a convention in someone's town, you need to go and touch and speak to and talk to those people if that is in fact who you are standing with.
Do you feel like there was an outreach effort prior to the convention, in the planning of it to try to make sure that people like yourselves are included?
Yeah, I think that there was...
Introduce yourself, please.
Sorry, my name's Kayla Reed. I'm with OBS, Standing in Solidarity, Hands Up United. I think that they did do outreach to local organizations, and part of the outreach is to center the local demands that we have, right? So we're calling for an immediate resignation of our Chief of Police, Sam Dawson. We're calling for the homeless people who live in downtown St. Louis, which is this tourist place, to not be harassed and driven out every night, right? The police, we have like the highest crime rate in the nation, and our police spend 16 hours a day terrorizing homeless people simply for being poor. And we have a demand that charges be dropped against Reggie Clemens. And so sometimes when they came to stand in solidarity with us, so we have to take them to where the problem is so that they can actually be in solidarity, right? It's more than just coming to our city, it's actually being a part of the work that we're doing here. And we think it's important that people came out into the streets to witness that, and we hope that people take those messages back home. And wherever you have a convention, just remember to lift up local demands, because that's the purpose of it all.
I think maybe my mic has died here because we've been live streaming for over an hour, so I'm going to pass this one with you too. Now, one thing that did happen in there is that not everybody liked what you were doing, right? There was one woman up there who was unhappy with the fact that the conference was interrupted, that her session was interrupted, a place where she said that people felt safe and was a place for them to heal. What do you say to to kind of challenges like that?
Hi, it's Rika Tyler, Hands Up United, St. Louis. I would just want to tell people that this space was for all black lives, and when I say all black lives, I mean black men, black women, queer, trans people, and this is just for all black lives in general. And I mean, this space was so historical at this moment and this uprising right now. Alton Sterling just had a funeral just the other day, and Mike Brown still hasn't got no justice. So we're here right now to let people know that we're ending the silence, and it's over right now.
Anything you want to say here? But one of the things too is, Tef Poe was out there earlier too, and he was saying this is not Ferguson, this is St. Louis. Why is that distinction so important?
The media is very smart and crafty. My name is T-Dub, a hip-hop artist, also one of the 4 directors of Hands Up United. The media is very smart and they're very crafty. The reason they wanted to separate Ferguson from St. Louis because they wanted to make it an isolated issue, which Ferguson is actually not a bad neighborhood. Before Mike Brown got killed, I think he was the first murder that happened that year in that neighborhood. You can walk down the street at any time of night. You can leave your car doors unlocked. You can sleep with your doors unlocked. You can sleep on the street. St. Louis City as a whole and then 92 other municipalities surrounded in the county, that's where the real problem lies. As Tara said, we have the highest crime rate in the nation. We're always either number one in murders or number two in the top three every year. The minimum wage is one of the lowest in the nations. The unemployment rate is one of the highest in the nations for black people. The school to prison pipeline fully flourishes here. When you walk into a city school in North City St. Louis or West City St. Louis, it's like going into TSA. So our children, as early as 6th grade, are being treated as monsters, walking into their school, being searched down by security guards, harassed by police, have to go through metal detectors. Some of them even got to wear clear book bags so they can see what's in it. So if you teach a child that they're a monster from the beginning, they're going to grow up thinking that they're a monster. So what we do is we combat all those issues at the root cause, which is white supremacy and systemic oppression.
And, you know, in terms of local activism, local organizing, obviously Michael Brown's death, I think, was a changing point for that community in terms of the national attention that was turned here. But I mean, prior to that, too, did that wake up the community, or talk to us about all the work that was being done before then, right? That nobody was highlighting.
Yeah, so there have been organizations in St. Louis doing work for years. So the organization I work for, OBS, has been around for 36 years, doing work around police brutality since the 80s. And so what I think happened after Trayvon Martin, what I think happened after Michael Brown, what I think happened after Tamir Rice, after Sandra Brand, and now after Orlando, and last week with the 2 shootings in Minneapolis and Baton Rouge, is that there's a consciousness shift happening in America where people are saying, I can't not see this because it's everywhere, right? I can't even get on my Facebook page anymore and not see black people being gunned down by the police. And so we're saying St. Louis has the 7th highest per capita in the nation, where we have more police than we actually need, and that's replicated in every city where black people live. And so every city where black people live, black people are being killed, right? So that's Detroit, that's Cleveland, that's Minneapolis, that's New Orleans, that's Baton Rouge, that's Houston, that's St. Louis, that's Chicago. And so I think that there's a shift happening in people's consciousness, and it's time to not just think about it, it's time to do the work. It's time to join organizations like Hands Up United and OBS. It's time for organizations to work together to be pushing these demands so that we can actually change society. And so we are building back up St. Louis Action Council, which is this non-hierarchical space where all the organizations come together to plan actions like the ones today, work together to lift up local demands and organizational demands. And we're hopeful that St. Louis will continue to put pressure on these elected officials and the police to stop killing us, because really this is about life or death, so it's really not a game.
So, and one of the things, too, that you addressed while you were speaking earlier was people keep asking, what can I do? What can I do, right? And I want you to answer that question again in case our viewers didn't hear it earlier, right? Because if you don't relate because you don't live this every single day, if you live in a white suburban neighborhood somewhere, but you believe in equality, what do you do?
So I like to say this thing that I always say, there's a time and place for there's a time and place for everybody in the movement. Not every place is for everybody. So if you're not one of the people who like to chant "fuck the police" in front of the streets, you can be one of the people on Twitter. You can start at home at your table with your family talking about issues or whatever surrounding white supremacy and black bodies getting gunned down in the streets. I said, go home to your communities, talk to the people that look like us, just build with them, grow from them, learn from them, and share knowledge as well.
So I haven't really been reading comments, but we've had people watching for, over an hour. We have thousands of people watching live right now too. And a lot of them are kind of debating amongst themselves, a lot of differing viewpoints, I would say, and someone says there's a lot of hate in the Black Lives Matter movement. Hate. Wow. Well, how do you respond to that?
I don't have a response for that, really. People are people. So everybody is not going to get along. Everybody has not gotten along in any movement in history. So if there's a lot of hate in the Black Lives Matter movement means that we don't all agree on everything, then that's true. We don't all agree on everything. But we do all agree that there is a lot of work to be done to lead to black liberation, and that is what we're doing. If you think that any group all got along, it's just a fallacy. That's just not true. And so we're working the same way. We know that we all have the same end goal. And so if that means that we have to negotiate, compromise on some things, then that's what it is. But the end goal is black liberation for everyone that is categorized as somebody that's working in the Black Lives Matter movement.
He wants to,
Go ahead.
I don't know what they meant by hate, if they meant amongst each other or they meant hate in general. But I have one statement. If it was illegal for you to walk the street, you have a lot of hate in your heart as well. If your little brothers and sisters were being killed on a daily basis, you have a lot of hate in your heart as well. If you couldn't go to school without being harassed on a daily basis, being shook down by police, being assaulted by police, seeing your mother get raped by police, being extorted by police, being extorted by the system, you have a lot of hate in your heart as well. So we don't have hate towards people in general. We have hate towards oppression. We have hate towards the lack of freedom that we have here in this country. And all we want is what my brother Tef Poe said earlier, what God already gave us that we don't have. That's where the hate comes from.
All right, guys. And I mean, any comment that you'd like to make also on the election that's going on right now and the kind of, the choice that that Americans have before them? Obviously, so much of what happens on the local level in terms of what affects people's lives, but the person that is elected to the president is a reflection of the country in a certain extent.
I'll say what Tef told people yesterday at the Netroots plenary. He said that white America would like for black America to save them from the world run by Trump. But we already live in that world. We've been living in the world that's run by Trump. So when you take a look at these candidates, you need to be really honest about the difference in their politics, if there are any, and why you are voting for the candidate that you're voting for. People just need to take a real hard, long look at why they're voting for the candidate that they're voting for. And if they're voting solely because she is a woman, that's not the right answer. People just need to be honest about what has happened in the country under the Clinton reign and what could happen under the Trump reign. Like, the lesser of two evils is not a good choice. And that's what we're forced with every time we walk into the ballot box. That's what we're presented with, the lesser of two evils. Always. That has always been the case. I'm going to walk into the booth and vote because there's blood on the ballot. People in my family died, got their heads cracked open so that I could walk in there and vote. But I don't have any confidence in either of those candidates. Neither of those candidates are going to improve my quality of life, their quality of life. Kids on the north and west side of St. Louis, their quality of lives are not going to be improved with either of those candidates sitting in that White House. Until we started to have serious conversations about these systems and these institutions, nothing is going to change. It's definitely not going to change in that White House.
Yeah, and I just want to say that a lot of people are focused on what's on the top of the ballot in November, but people need to go all the way down. We are having circuit attorney races and mayors and judges and sheriffs. All of these things are on the election ballot, and that's where we can start to actually really build power. And I also want to say that we have a right to be angry. Since the day our ancestors were brought over here, they have been beaten and killed for labor, for money. And we are living in a world now where black people when the Second Amendment does not apply to black people, because when a man can have a registered gun and still be killed, then we're not living under equal rights. And so Black Lives Matter is not a hate group, right? We love our people so much that we are willing to sacrifice ourselves and be in the streets and demand change. And so people who see hate don't want to recognize the truth of the situation. So it's easy to say, oh, they hate us, right? It's easy for us to say Trump hates black people. It's easy to say that, but look at the actual truth of the situation, that he is a part of a larger system that has mistreated us and abused us for a very long time. And we have to start with our own communities and building the change that we want to see and working our way up to the White House. But City Hall and all of the municipalities and your city councils, that's just as important as the president, if not worse, because us getting arrested for walking the manor last year and 2 years ago, that wasn't President Obama. That was the mayor of Ferguson. So if we're not understanding how policies come into play that impacts our lives, then we can't actually change the system.
All right. I just want to read a couple comments here, too. Like I said, there's a lot coming in, too, but people saying black does not equal crime. Amen. Never Hillary. And the two-party system is broken, and also poverty is a crime. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us today, for speaking with us, and for all of you who have been watching, and for Mike, who's been holding the camera for an hour and a half.
You got to work out today, Mike.
Yeah, because baby, that thing is heavy, and we've been running.
We've been
running on freeways. It's hot out there, so shout out to Mike, and shout out to Liz. Shout out to Liz as well. So again, thank you for leaving your questions, your comments, watching with us, and we'll see you guys on the next stream.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Me too. Very nice to meet you guys. Thank you.